Hi, and welcome to this very special episode of Underground Video Network's Behind the Counter. This is going to be our review of that small independent movie that may or may not have come to your town. That's right, this is going to be our Star Wars episode, so stay tuned. Hi, and welcome back to this very special episode of... Richard, do you feel that?
Yeah, I feel something.
I feel a disturbance in the force.
Welcome to the Underground Video Network, and welcome to the Star Wars episode.
That's right. We're going to be talking. This is going to be our spoiler-free review of.
We're going to do spoilers.
We're going to do spoilers.
We're going to do all the spoilers.
We're going to do all the spoilers.
That's right.
We're going to be talking about spoilers. The Star Wars movie is so huge, we had to call in backup. We had to call what I think me and Richard will agree to as the Star Wars expert in our circle of friends. First of all, you may notice we don't have comic books behind us, and we're not any place we've ever been before. Richard, where the hell are we?
We're down at Studio Kumikaze. They're a small press comic book company down in the Dayton, Ohio area.
Where can they check out, since they're being so nice to let us use their glamorous studio here, we should give them a little bit of a plug.
Yeah, kumikaze.com.
There you go.
So this isn't the Dagobah system?
Oh, no, sweetie, no.
Oh, okay. Just wanted to check.
That's right. By the time you've watched this, like we said, this is going to be spoilers, so if you haven't watched the movie yet, chances are you're not even watching this show, because why would you? Because that's just the kind of person you are. So, but if you haven't, we'll wait. Go see it.
You have about 10 seconds, and then it's game on.
So
10,
how are you guys doing?
nine,
They should be in their cars by now.
7, 6,
Popcorn's really good. I like the popcorn. I'm a big fan of goobers. I like the
3,
goobers at the theater.
2,
Gigi beats stick in
1.
my teeth. Spoilers!
For
Okay!
Star Wars Episode 7, The Force Awakens!
So, for many of us, me and Richard included, we are the generation, we grew up watching the original Star Wars. First of all, we're not going to acknowledge the prequels. It goes New Hope, Empire Strikes Back, Return of the Jedi, and this. That other stuff, So
No Jar Jar?
I'll show you a disturbance in the Force. So like many of us, this is a movie. I don't think Richard, you're like me. I don't think we ever thought we were going to get this movie.
No, never would have.
No. A sequel to Return of the Jedi? No. Especially, everybody went on their separate ways, and
Everybody got old. No.
I think
So did we.
we all
I know.
got. So did we.
But in all honesty, this is the movie we've been waiting for the last 32 damn years.
It really is. I think a lot of us, when it was first announced, were skeptical. The prequels.
Well, it's Disney. Everybody was nervous. Disney bought Lucasfilm. I mean, okay. I was nervous.
It was Disney.
She had faith.
Dude, after what they did with the Marvel movies, I had faith. And then after what J.J. Abrams did to the Star Trek movies, I had faith.
That is when my faith was restored, when I found out that J.J. Abrams was tied with Star Wars, which completely blew my mind because he's like, he went from Star Trek to Star Wars. I mean, how does that...
Let's face it, everybody's faith got renewed when they brought out BB-8 and he was real and not CGI.
That's true. And with all the behind-the-scenes snippets that, JJ purposely let out to show, hey, look, sets. Look, practical effects.
Look, sweat.
So that's true sweat. We're not in a sound stage, man. We are in Indonesia or, wherever they shot the movie at,
Then we're sitting there yelling, moisturize me, moisturize me.
We've all gotten a chance to see it. We got a chance to see it opening night. Richard and I did. There were a lot of people I knew that said that they weren't going to go see it opening night because they knew it was going to be just a madhouse, and that was exactly why I wanted to see it opening night. I wanted that experience.
I know our hometown Lima area had a lot of people.
Yeah. The show started at 7. We got there at 5. We still had to wait in line to get in. It was amazing. Star Wars is one of those things where it's like, doesn't matter your background, how old you are, man, woman, doesn't matter. It's like it's the force that binds us together. You know,
It surrounds us. It penetrates us. We got it.
Yeah.
And I'm so glad they went back to that instead of midichlorians. Thank you.
Yeah. So I gotta say, just right off the bat, I was blown away. I loved it so much. I can remember seeing Return of the Jedi when I was probably about 8 years old at the theater, and I remember how I felt when I left the theater, and I really did. When I left the theater after watching The Force Awakens, I felt like that 8-year-old kid again. I really did.
My emotions were a little mixed. Don't get me wrong, I love the movie. Very Empire Strike Back-ish feel.
Okay, here come the spoilers.
Oh, dude, I'm already in there. But, dude, I lost a family member. I seriously tried to call off work for the death of a family member because of this movie. Mm-hmm. They wouldn't let me, but I tried.
Well, also, I need to mention that Richard and I got to see it in 3D.
Oh yeah, and it worked.
And it worked.
It works.
I have made a point to open-mindedly check out 90% of the movies that have come out in 3D, and there's been a couple that were good. This movie is what the 3D experience was meant to be. Mm-hmm. It really was. It worked so well. The way it was shot. They didn't just get gimmicky with it like, oh, look, we forgot to mention the movie's in 3D. Oh,
except when the big Star Destroyer comes out.
I'm telling you.
No. This is a Star Destroyer. This is...
I know I wasn't the only one. I looked around in my peripheral vision, and that one scene when the destroyer comes toward the screen, all of us were like...
Everybody moved back, like, I'm about to get hit by this. Like, the point was, like, right here.
I'm like, we're doing this, like, oh, man.
Oh, it was gorgeous. It was absolutely gorgeous in 3D. Of course, I'm going to try it in all three, from the IMAX to regular 3D to regular, and then just keep watching it and watching it and watching it.
I think what was...
I still have to watch the last 30 minutes, I think.
Yeah. I think what really sold it for me on this movie is this movie was, in fact, it was a love letter to the original trilogy. You could tell that J.J. Abrams had a lot of love and a lot of respect for the original trilogy, and it really showed in this movie, I dare say, more than Lucas ever could have. You know,
No, I think Lucas loved his project. I just think he went a little overboard when he redid his project.
That's true.
Yeah. And he wanted to do a digital movie. He always wanted to do a digital movie.
Right.
And he wanted to do what he wanted. I mean, if you listen to the commentaries from the first three, I know we said we wouldn't mention the first three.
No.
But if you listen to the commentary, he was doing the movies he wanted to do.
Yeah.
I mean, and the technology finally caught up.
Right.
You couldn't do it back in the 70s.
What happened to Lucas was what would happen to us little poor people. He had the technology now to make all of his dreams and hopes come true, like us winning the lottery.
Right. And
That's pretty much what it was.
And he did, you know.
He did, and there was nobody there to check him.
And say, no.
Yes. He was at that point in his career where, I hate to say it, he was probably surrounded by a bunch of yes men, and he was like, okay, man, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to put this pod race, right? And there's going to be these things. And oh, yes, sir. That sounds fantastic.
Hey, the pod race was awesome looking, though.
Yeah.
And we got to see Aurora sing, so.
Okay.
And in 3D.
And in 3D?
I saw it in 3D. It was cool in 3D.
Okay.
Darth Maul's cool in 3D.
Yeah.
Okay, I think we can all agree that, okay, the prequels were good science fiction movies. For me, they weren't true Star Wars movies.
No, they were great CNN political debate movies.
That's, yeah. Yeah, just a dash of just friendly racism. Just a sprinkle of racism, just a little...
Hey, how do we get old people back into Star Wars? Hey, let's show this on CNN. Good idea, Lucas.
But no, The Force Awakens, it really did capture the essence. It spent the time to let us get to know the characters. The dialogue between the character, the banter between the characters was very much reminiscent of Han and Luke. You know,
It felt natural.
It did. It felt natural.
A little bit wild. I would have to say the character of Finn at first felt a little like he was still struggling with his role. He felt a little bit robotic, and then once he started letting go, I know bad force pun, but he really did let go. And once he let go, he really came into his own and he really shined.
He did. I thought the character Finn was... I enjoyed him a lot. I liked seeing the swing. I mean, there was good character development there. He went from somebody that was forced to be a stormtrooper to someone who realized that he didn't want to be a part of this life. There was that element of cowardice where he was just like, I gotta get the hell out of here. And then it was his relationship with Rey that awakened the true hero.
It awakened it.
There was the Force Awakens and there was the Hero Awakens, you know.
They were never trained to even probably have relationships or nothing. I mean, it's the Empire. All
That's
you're
true.
there is
They just used Captain Phasma, and she walked up, shiny, it's shiny, okay, I'll go, it's shiny.
Wait, Richard, what are you trying to say, that the stormtroopers were homeschooled? Is that what you're saying? They didn't have the social interaction that, normal...
They have plenty of social interactions. Look at all the star systems and all the people that they kill.
Hey, I like your guys' artwork. Zap. But no, that was a great characterization. And yet, you mentioned Captain, I will never say her name right, Captain Phantasmagoria. Phantasm?
Dude, Phantasm is a great movie. It really is. I'm a huge horror buff. Wrong genre.
Captain Phantasm?
Oh, Lord.
Captain Fantastic Four? But
Shiny Stormtrooper lady.
That was...
Can you do that?
I do. Okay, so that was the one great juxtaposition. I don't know if they did it on purpose, but I think when we talked about it, you said it best where before the movie came out, when all the hype was there, Captain Shiny Stormtrooper Lady. She was hyped so hard. They literally like crammed that shiny Stormtrooper helmet down. Okay, I'm sorry. That did not come out.
Let's just face it. She's the new Boba Fett.
She is.
There's not a lot about her in the movie. The few moments that you have with her it's like that moment you first see Boba Fett in Empire. He says a few one-liners. You're like, okay, like when Vader's like, no disintegrations, as you wish. She was that character, but it was us that made her so popular. We took it and we ran with it, just like we made Boba Fett from this minor character in Empire and returned to this huge, fantastic character. We did the same thing with her.
Well, that's because that's what we become as a society. We see this great movie, it's like, oh, shiny. She's shiny, so she has to be important. But
then you have a mix of like Wedge, Biggs, and Han Solo, Mr. Poe.
And
he's so
that's
awesome.
Perfect.
And no one thought that he was gonna be like this huge big deal. And then here he is, and he's more of a big star than most of the other characters in there.
I was afraid. Again, I will go back to the original. Well, not the original. I will go to the prequels because that's the reason why I try not to get my hopes up too much. Is because. And that's why I didn't buy much of the merchandise when it came out, because I was one of those guys that when Phantom Menace was so hyped, I bought everything.
You bought 20 Jar Jars.
Oh my God! I'm not even going to show you the Jar Jar tattoo I have. It's getting removed. But no, I was one of those guys like, oh, check it out, Rick Olick. Oh my God, look at this figure. He's going to be huge.
It's okay. I did the same thing. But unlike you, I did the same thing for Star Wars The Force Awakens. I
wish I had. I really do wish I had, because after 5 minutes of seeing Poe on screen, I'm like, I want his action figure.
You're talking to a person who dropped $2,000 for Star Wars Force Awakens stuff.
Right here, buddy.
Makeup, SpaghettiO cans, the action figures, and my precious little BB-8.
I have that too. And I am so glad. God, I think if there's anything that I was grateful for in The Force Awakens, that BB-8 not only had a good role in the movie, but he was as adorable as we wanted him to be.
Can we give him the salute, the BB-8 salute? Yay!
You know what, honestly?
He busted up.
I died!
I died laughing. I admit it. When they're like, hey, BB-8, and he's like, bzz, bzz, bzz. It's a lighter!
BB-8 showed more character and heart in that one scene than I dare say any of the characters for me did in the prequels. He showed more, he emoted more than Hayden Christensen did in all 3 movies.
He's the new R2.
I love you.
BB-8 is the new R2.
He is.
Every kid wanted R2s. I mean, I realize that he generated the Ewoks for kids, but let's face it, we all loved R2. Everybody wanted to have an R2 unit. BB-8's the new R2, and BB-8, you could tell, is sculpted after R2 with a lot of his personalities, the way that he talks, and the fact that in that one scene when BB-8 is sitting there with R2, which here's BB-8 and here's R2. I didn't realize he was going to be that little.
Crap.
I really didn't. I thought they were kind of closer. And he's just like, R2! R2!
Yeah. At that moment, I actually thought, is R2's like AI inside BB-8? You know, I actually thought that for a brief moment because, you know, R2 wasn't responding.
Yeah, when he was in sleep mode.
Right, but I just said, wait a second, what if, you know, because he was acting so much like R2.
Yeah.
You know, especially with Rey, you know, because he didn't even know her, but yet he trusted her for some reason.
Yeah.
You know, was there something there?
And it was another great thing about not only was BB-8 practical, but it had a lot to do with the way he was able to emote as even a droid. That was the one advantage he had over R2. R2 showed a lot of emotion. He really did. He could show a lot of emotion. But for me, what really sold it was that one scene when they're in the Falcon, when Finn is trying to convince BB-8 not to let it slip to Rey that, you know, I'm not part of the Resistance. And when Rey pops up and he's like, yeah, right, and BB-8 looks at Finn, looks at Rey, looks at Finn, looks at Rey. I'm like, I love that. Just that little head nod spoke so much to me.
See, I knew from the get-go, the way how BB-8 reacted to Poe, at the very beginning of the movie, it reminded me of R2's relationship with Anakin within the Clone Wars and the Clone Wars cartoon.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it wasn't just his assigned astromech. This was his little buddy.
Right.
This was his R2. This is my...
You could see Poe, just like Anakin did in the Clone Wars, facing all odds and going against all orders, going, I gotta get my BB-8 unit back. You don't understand.
Yeah, and when and I really don't think it was just because he had the plans, or the map in him. He wanted his buddy back.
Because the look on Poe's face when he finally gets reintroduced to BB-8 was just that joy and enlightenment, like, oh my god, my buddy.
And when BB-8 knocks Rey out of the way, or Finn out of the way, like, bonk, what the hell?
And his voicing is just so adorable. It's just so adorable. Gives you that warm, fuzzy feeling inside.
It really did. After I got done watching the movie, I was like, I'm going to be that guy. I'm going to be 38 years old, and I'm going to get the gigantic life-size plushie of BB-8, and I'm going to hold him and squeeze him and hug him and take him everywhere
he's going to be mine, and he's already named BB-8, and I'm going to love him for evers and evers and evers. But that wasn't the only warm feeling. We got reintroduced to 3 characters that we have missed for a very long time. Seeing that one scene when Han finally gets to see Leia for the first time in the movie was just heart-wrenching. And then you're going, hug her, kiss her, whatever, and then here comes Chewie. I'll hug her, it's alright.
I really did. I love that moment because it was... I would not have doubted it as if in real life Carrie Fisher and Peter Prout, or was it Peter Prout?
Peter Mayhew, like purposely avoided each other. Just so in that one scene there was that real moment, that real genuine moment of I missed you so much. You know, it was like, oh, Chewie, you know. To me it was just like, alright, dude, I got dibs.
Out of the way, smuggler, I'm getting me some lovin'. I ain't related to her.
She's into scruffy things, I got this, it's alright.
One of the things that impressed me most about this movie was, I'm going to consistently say that because there's a lot of things about this movie that impressed me, was that I think a lot of us, another fear that we had was we were told that Han and Leia and Chewie were coming back, and we weren't quite sure about Luke yet. That was some good... We just thought it was going to be a throwaway. Han and Chewie are in this movie, buddy.
Yes, they are.
They are in it. It's not just oh yeah, by the way, this is my ship. Thanks for bringing it back. We're home.
That was great.
No, they're back. I mean,
well, back-ish.
Yeah.
We'll get to that in a minute because we didn't bring any tissues, did we?
No.
Oh. No. But yes. And even though we don't see General Leia, not Princess, even though, you know, we all know she's still the princess, and they hinted throughout the entire, she'll always be royalty to me. Princess, General, 3PO, pick one. Just pick one. Just go with it. Seriously.
I love that. Princesses.
But he does.
He brings back the sass.
What I found funny was a lot of my friends who had seen it went, yeah, I love how he dropped the whole princesses thing. I was like, did you not see the scene right before where he went general? He does.
Yeah.
He almost calls her Princess Leia.
Yeah, he does.
And she, even though she's not in it as much as Han and Chewie are, she still plays a major role because you know she's still at the forefront.
Yeah.
So we know she's still going to be there in the next movie.
And the way they developed her character made complete sense because a lot of arguments were, well, wait a minute, you know, Leia was obviously, you know, a child of Skywalker, you know, well, why isn't she roaming the galaxy, you know, being a Jedi? It didn't make sense for her. It didn't make sense for Leia to become a Jedi because she was raised to be in the military first as a diplomat and then, you know, moving up the ranks to general. She wouldn't have wanted to leave all of that.
It's not that she wouldn't want to. She knew where her place was.
That's exactly it.
Because the rebels needed her.
Yes.
And even after the rebels,
yes.
You know, even though there's a lot of things that, you know, became uncanon, even in the Timothy Zahn books with Heir to the Empire, even though she was still known as Princess Leia Organa Solo, she still had the forefront of putting back together a republic. So we know she was busy doing that because we now had a republic, which, spoiler, they get destroyed real quick. In this really impressive, it's definitely not a Death Star, planet super gun. Oh my god, that thing was gorgeous.
It was. That was, and I'm really hoping we...
And so she's on the forefront, but I know a lot of people are really upset because they're like, well, what about her? Is she going to be a Jedi Knight? Is she going to do this? Even if you read some of the uncanon stuff, what training does she really need? She was already powerful. We realized that in Star Wars Episode 4 when she could be like, oh, we're going to torture you. She ain't giving us crap.
Yeah.
Seriously. And you can see that she has already accepted her powers because you can see it throughout the movie. She can already still sense stuff, things like that.
Which we'll get... I think the other reason why she chose that path too is spoilers. She had, you know, feelings for a certain scruffy-looking nerf herder, and I think that she knew deep down that if she was going to pursue the life of the Jedi, she could never have a relationship with Han, and she loved Han, and she wanted that relationship, and she was like, cool, Luke, you go do your thing, you little Tatooine virgin, I'm gonna go get me
I
some
still
scruffy
say
nerf.
that Jedis are wrong. First off, if there's no relationships, what? Are you just thinking that little Jedis are dropped from the sky from storks or something? Obviously, Jedis have to breed or else we wouldn't have more Jedis.
Well, they're mutants born with the X gene, which is
What about
considered
they're just-
midichlorians.
Wrong genre. But
Not they're just conceived, you know.
Oh,
We are not getting into-
Holy Jedi.
yes, Christmas is right around the corner. There we go.
But no, I think her relationship with Han probably had a lot to do with it.
I actually think I think you're right, but in a different matter. I think she pushed further into becoming the general because they stated in the movie that they both went back to what they knew after the loss of, ready for it, Kylo Ren, their son.
Whose real name happened to be...
Ben.
Oh,
I
love that.
I mean, I've only seen it once, but I am daggone well sure that Han called him Ben when he yelled at him. And I found that really weird because, you know, growing up with, you know, the extended universe, I was like, wait, ain't that supposed to be Luke's son's name? But regardless.
But Luke didn't have a son. He had a daughter.
He had a son.
Maybe.
But we also had daughters in the extended universe.
But we're not talking about...
We can talk about whatever we want. You've already said, let's not mention prequels, and you wouldn't mention prequels anyway,
That's
so
true.
hush. It's a Star Wars episode. I can mention whatever I want.
But no, a good amalgamation of the movie canon with the extended universe canon is, yes, we all knew it was going to happen. Han and Leia, you know, they bumped Jawas.
Ew!
They did the
I'm
Ewok.
sorry. Bump Jawas, that is the most disgusting interpretation of that I've ever heard in my entire life. They're disgusting, filthy creatures. Ew and no.
They banged Bespins. They tagged Tatooine.
They joined their force. There.
Ew, now that sounded creepy. Yes, they got together and they had what we know of at least one child, Ben, who does grow up to be Kylo Ren.
After he was in
happened.
training with Luke, and Luke failed, and he went to the dark side and met the big new bad guy, Supreme Leader Snoke.
He's like this tall, probably.
Yeah. He's probably literally as big as Yoda.
But you have to admit, the first time you see that holograph, you weren't quite sure.
I
You're
wasn't.
thinking, "Oh my god, really?" Like,
Dude.
is what the? He's like 20 feet tall.
His lightsaber has to be
Couldn't
massive.
he just like walk through the planets? He goes smash, 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 done. But, one of the things that I found really neat about Kylo Ren is because everybody's like, "Ooh, look, check out his lightsaber. He's the new badass. He's this, and this." And then when you watch the movie, he has to answer to the commander of
Yeah.
the new First Order.
Yeah.
And they both answer to the new Supreme Leader together. He is not Darth Vader. You do not see stormtroopers
No.
going, yes, Mr. Vader, yeah, whatever you need, sir. I am so sorry. Like, it's like, and it's Kylo Ren. He's got a shiny lightsaber and
Yeah.
really bad rags for his costume.
Yeah, it's like we get to see him very early in his Imperial career.
But Supreme Leader did say his training was not complete.
True.
True.
There was one moment I really liked though when you said the stormtroopers don't give him a shit is one thing we have learned about Kylo Ren is he will throw a hissy fit.
Yeah.
He will be all like
He, in all honesty, you could tell he's a Skywalker. Oh, Lord
Yeah.
have mercy. He was
Yeah.
Anakin Skywalker when he destroyed
Oh,
all
yeah.
the Tusken Raiders. Seriously, he was.
Yeah. But it was great when he's having that one hissy fit and the stormtroopers come walking around and they're like, no.
They walk, he's like, no, we're cool. But think about it, and that would explain why Captain Phasma is there at every scene that he's in, because they have more respect for her than they
Yeah.
do him. So
He's more like he's more of like the hired hitman. He's more like the
he's the Queen of England. He's just a face.
Yeah.
Well, he's like an impure son who never gets respect. You know, he's like this.
Yeah.
He wants the respect. He demands that he gets the respect. Who are you? You know, it's
Yeah.
But at least look on the bright side. We don't have that disappointment like we did with Vader. Oh, there's Vader. He's the
No.
biggest badass of the galaxy. Oh, yeah. Vader, release him. Dude, Grand Moff Tark is giving him orders and he listens? Why? Oh, and he's got another guy above him, the Emperor? I thought Vader was like it. That was disappointing.
Vader, release him. Whatever.
I would have just been like, and snapped his neck, but that's me. What, Sith Lord? But it was an amazing movie, great characters, great development. And for all of those who said, "Oh, Luke's not in the movie," there's a reason why he's not in any of this.
This isn't his movie.
This isn't his movie.
It's not
Exactly,
his movie.
right.
And I mean, for the amount of words he says in the movie and for every word that they had to pay him for, I mean, they just couldn't afford it.
He gets the script. He gets his script. Luke, there's nothing here. Exactly.
Best acting ever.
But it was really great. And you know, here's Rey. They finally find, because actually, I mean, it is kind of his movie, because the whole premise is, hey, where's Luke Skywalker? It's like the Doctor Who book. Are you my mother? Where's Luke Skywalker? Have you seen Luke Skywalker? Where's the map to Luke Skywalker? Can we find the map to Luke Skywalker? That is actually what they're all after, is the map to Luke Skywalker. No one can find him. He's disappeared. I mean, even the beginning of the scroll, Luke Skywalker has disappeared. Those are your new first words for your scroll.
Yeah. He done left. Luke done left.
And when Rey finally finds him to hand him back the lightsaber that he lost when he was battling Vader in Episode 5, when he turns around and he sees her, it's without any words and the music, it was just absolutely perfect.
It was. That was the ideal ending, because it was a good ending, and it was also a very good stay tuned moment. You know?
Yeah.
It wasn't like A New Hope, where the movie ended and that could have been it. That could have been it, and we would have been happy. No, this was an Empire ending. This whole movie
just resonated of Empire.
Yeah.
It really did. The darkness of it, the ending of it, the loss that we felt.
When who died?